Hello, this is Greg from Mystery Honey. Today's short form video is how to light your smoker like a pro. I say like a pro, but you know, how to light your smoker. There's loads and loads of different ways of doing this, but this is the way that I've been taught how to do by someone from the National Bee Unit. Beforehand, I was just using scraps, bits of wood, rotten bits of wood here, newspaper. I was using Hessian sack and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I always had an issue where my smoker would go out, especially when I needed it, especially when it came to an aggressive hive or something, and it'd just go poof, and I'd be knackered. So I got taught this trick by a guy from the NBU who came looking at some hives of mine, and he uses something that I would never have thought of in a million years. It was cat litter, just cheap cat litter that's the fibrous stuff. Yes, he used that, and I've never looked back ever since seeing him do that. I followed in his footsteps, and yeah, it's fantastic. It burns for ages and ages and ages. I can usually do a full day just off a single smoker, which is amazing. Funnily enough, I did an interview for the National Bee Unit a few years back, and this was one of the tests. They made you light a smoker with all these different bits and bobs. It was nothing that I'd used before, and yeah, you have to try and light a smoker, and you have to have it lit for the whole of the inspection. And I passed that bit, fortunately, but yeah, it's really daunting. I'm two people stood over you while you're lighting a smoke. You're like, hello, you're right. Yeah, so learn how to light a smoker properly. If you want to be in the National Bee Unit, it's on the test. Right, this is the short form video of this week. I've got a long form video which was released probably about an hour or so before this one, so if you want to see what else happened throughout this inspection, please go and have a look at that one. Right, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye bye. So this is my smoker. It's a bit battered and like bent. I do seem to drop it quite a lot. This here is the lid off a bottle of rum that I saved because it fit perfectly as a stopper for my smoker. So it's a great way to stop it when it's lit and smoking, and you need to get your smoker in the car and you don't want to smoke yourself out. Right, time to get fuel. So first thing to do is empty anything out that's already been in there. So I've done that. It's completely empty. See there? So now I've done that, what I'm going to do next is add some kindling. So you want to have something like cardboard, something that's easily lightable. So that's what I've got bits of cardboard. You don't want it a big piece, just like little bits. I'll show you in a second. Just drop it in nice and loosely. You want a lot of air getting through like that, and then I'd get something like this. This is a souffle torch. It's got a good flame on it. Now what I do is I put it on its side and I burn from the bottom. So if you set the torch at the bottom like that, heat always rises. So you may be cooking the bottom one, but the heat's going up and it's starting to burn the others above it. Get some smoke going on. There we go. Nice little flame, it's good. So give it a couple of seconds when that fire's starting to go properly. And I'm going to turn it up on this bottom like that. Okay. So I don't know if you can see. But the flames have gone out. So what we want to do is we want to start that kindling going. So we're just going to slowly move it. What that's doing is it's starting to get the little flickers of flame pumping and burning, get the embers going a bit higher. So start slowly and work your way up. Eventually you'll start seeing like flames flickering around the top. This looks like it's going to start happening any seconds. There we go, I can see some flames coming out. You can see the smoke that's coming out now. There's loads of smoke. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get this flame as high as we can. So add a bit more kindling. If you need to add a bit more flames by the lighter at this point, feel free. Don't worry about it too much. Just keep getting it going. You want as much heat as possible. You want it to be like a bit of a blast furnace. Now, this smoke's no good for the bees because it's very hot. So I don't know if you can see that, but the smoke is going because there's a flame flickering out there. You can't really see it in this light, it's very light now. Maybe you saw a bit then. Can you see the little flame flickering there? So you want it to be like that, a blast furnace. So the flames are coming out from the top. Right, there we are. And now what we do is, we just put something over the top of that flame, like that. Try and stop it. And then I use cat litter. Pour this over the top. Oops. Just full to the top, like that. Now as the cardboard burns down, that's going to drop. As you can see, there's still smoke coming through, so we're just going to pump it. Now we've still got the blast furnace in the bottom there. We've staunched it a little bit by putting this over the top. But as you can see, that's lovely thick smoke coming out now. Keep doing this. The reason we do this is because we want the cat litter to be lit up as well. So that is now catching. You can see because of how thick that smoke is. Look at that, it's a lovely plume. Yeah. If you want to, you can push down a little bit. Try not to block off all the air, so you can push down a little bit and add some more cat litter if you want to. But that's great. I'm going to add a bit more cat litter. I did have a scoop, but the missus borrowed it for compost and I've not had it back since, so that's why the pouring is a bit awkward. Yeah. So if you want the flames to go a bit hotter, just go really slow when you're using the bellows. That'll get the flames a bit hotter underneath, and then that'll rise up and start burning the cat litter. And there you are. That is pretty sorted smoke-wise. So what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to smoke it and put your hand over the top without it burning. So I can't feel anything, that's nice and cool. Because last thing you want to do is burn the bees. But yeah, there's no heat there whatsoever, which is good. That's what we want. If you do get to this stage and it is hot, then get some long grass and just place it over the top. Going through the grass cools it down just a little bit more. But yeah, it's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Cool. Alright, I'm going to get my suit on. Now, there are some safety considerations when it comes to lighting a smoker. When you're doing it, try to make sure that you do it in a place that is flame proof. So where like pavement, concrete, a flag, something along those lines, dirt, somewhere where if the flames, like you saw, it looked like a blast furnace, those flames won't flicker and catch something on fire. So I would not recommend the back of your car, maybe the back of a van if it's like a metal based one. But anything like felt and stuff like that, that's a bit of a no-no. Second one, try not to wear your bee suit. So try not to wear your bee suit, especially with the visor up. If you've got your bee suit hood up and those flames flick up, it will, one, burn your bee suit, which renders it just absolutely useless. And two, it will probably put the fire right in your face, which is never a good thing, you know? And try not to wear gloves either. Yes, it's a bit dirty and a bit messy, but if you wear gloves and say something hot lands on your hand, it could melt onto your hand and cause some damage that way. So whenever you're doing your smoker, try and make sure that you're safe doing it. And yeah, it's still going. Just follow that route. I learned how to do it from someone from the NBU, National Bee Unit, when they came visiting, because beforehand I was just using rolled up bits of like cardboard and like just bits and bobs of like bark and stuff like that I could find. But I always had an issue with bees like being burnt, or whenever I smoked them they'd like crinkle up and I'd be like, oh god, what am I doing? Whereas the guy from the NBU told me to use cat litter, and I did. And it doesn't affect the bees, it just smokes them out the way. They just get the smoke and they go, oh, and walk away. Don't like crinkle up in pain or anything like that, so that's good. So yeah, I'd highly recommend that. There's lots of other things like Hessian and stuff like that you can use, but it all comes down to the same thing. You just need something that'll burn very slowly for over an extended period of time and produce lovely plumes of smoke. Thank you so much for watching my videos, I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw, I want to see more, or you want to see some of my long form videos where I go through each and every single one of my hives, and I did that through all of last year, and I will be doing it all this year, then please go onto my channel and have a look through my playlists. I would very much appreciate it if you hit the like button, and if you wanted to share it, amazing. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye bye.